Imagine opening your portfolio after a long day, expecting that one big win, and instead you see red everywhere. Bitcoin was above 120K not long ago. Every headline screamed new all-time high. Everyone on X was posting insane P&L screenshots. Now price has sliced back into the mid-80K range. Billions of dollars in leveraged positions have been liquidated, and your account looks like it went through a paper shredder overnight. The memes are still funny. Your balance is not. You scroll through your history and realize something uncomfortable. You didn't just lose money because the market crashed. You lost because you had no real plan. You chased every new chain, every meme, every "this airdrop is easy 5 figures, bro." But if you're honest, you were just copying what others tweeted. Sometimes you got lucky. Most of the time, you became exit liquidity. Here's the twist most people miss. While crowds were gambling with 50x leverage, a smaller group of people were quietly using on-chain airdrop farming like a map. Not a lottery ticket. A structured way to build a serious war chest for this cycle and the next one. Today, I'm going to show you that map. Not a magic list of secret coins, but a real on-chain airdrop farming strategy for 2025. The way future whales are actually playing this game. With rules with risk management, and with a mindset completely different from the average degen scrolling for the next hype. Stay with me until the end, and you'll never look at free airdrops the same way again. Let me introduce you to someone. We'll call him Alex. Alex isn't a trading legend. He's not a dev, he's not a fund manager. He is a regular guy who discovered crypto the way most people did, through screenshots of 100x gains and TikToks about escaping the 9-to-5. In the last cycle, Alex watched from the sidelines as friends posted insane returns on coins he had never heard of. He told himself, "It's too late. I'll wait for the next bull run." He saw people get early airdrops from projects like New L2S, DeFi protocols, NFT marketplaces, and he thought, "That's just luck. I'll catch the next one." He caught something else instead: regret. When this news cycle started heating up, Bitcoin smashed through its old highs again. New chains popped up. Points, seasons, quests, early user rewards. Crypto Twitter exploded with threads. "This airdrop paid me $20,000. I made more from one airdrop than my job all year." Alex did what most people do when they feel late. He went all in on noise. At first, it felt exciting. He jumped from tutorial to tutorial, Discord to Discord, spamming every testnet, bridging to every new chain, minting random NFTs he didn't understand. He filled out endless forms. Join, like, retweet, tag 3 friends. His MetaMask was full of random tokens from chains he couldn't even pronounce correctly. One week, he paid more in gas than his entire food bill. And yet, when the first wave of serious airdrops landed, Alex got almost nothing. He missed the criteria thresholds, or he had interacted in the wrong pools, or he got disqualified for being too obvious, like a bot. Meanwhile, some of his quieter friends, less active on socials, more deliberate on-chain, were getting allocations that made his efforts look like a joke. Then the market turned. Bitcoin dumped hard. A lot of those lose coins he had aped into for eligibility were down 60 to 70%. On top of that, global headlines screamed about hacks wiping out billions in crypto, and more exchanges adding to the already long list of bankruptcy stories from the last few years. Alex suddenly realized he hadn't just been chasing free money. He had been risking real money without understanding the rules of the game. For a few weeks, he did what most people do when they lose. He disappeared, didn't open his wallet, muted every crypto group, told himself he was done with this casino. But the itch didn't go away. One night, instead of searching "next big airdrop 2025, he typed something different. Why most retail investors lose in crypto, even in bull runs. He found research from institutions, central banks, and crypto analytics firms, all saying the same thing in different words. Most small investors who pile in during hype phases end up losing money overall, especially if they're chasing peaks and reacting to price instead of following a framework. That hit him harder than any red candle. It wasn't just that the market was wild. It was that he was walking into a storm with no compass. Over the next months, Alex did something boring that most people never do. He paused chasing, and he started studying. He looked back at the big airdrop stories from previous years, people who turned consistent on-chain activity into serious capital. What struck him wasn't luck. It was pattern. They didn't farm everything. They chose specific verticals, L2S, res taking, core DeFi, infra. They treated gas like a business expense, not a random leak. They had basic security, hardware wallets, no clicking every random link, no connecting to every sketchy site. They combined data, on-chain activity, ecosystem focus, with discipline, weekly routines, instead of hopping from shill to shill. Alex realized his problem wasn't that airdrops don't work anymore. His problem was that he was acting like a gambler in a game that's increasingly dominated by people who treat it like a business. So he made a decision. If I'm going to stay in this space, I either keep playing like a victim or I build my own on-chain airdrop strategy, like the people who actually survive multiple cycles. The rest of this video is essentially the playbook Alex wished he had before he ever sent his first transaction. Let's be honest, if you losing money in crypto or spending endless hours farming for microscopic airdrops, it's rarely because you stupid. It's because the entire environment is designed to pull the worst version of you to the surface. Start with the personal psychology. There's FOMO. You see someone post a 5-figure airdrop, and your brain instantly erases the months or years of quiet grinding that came before it. All you see is "I'm late." So you sprint, desperately trying to compress their timeline into a weekend. There's greed. You get a win, maybe a decent allocation, maybe a token doubles, and instead of taking profit, you tell yourself, "This is just the start. I'll sell later when it's truly crazy." Later usually arrives in the form of a 60% drawdown. There's the hatred of cutting losses. You bridge to some experimental chain, bought its ecosystem tokens for eligibility, watch them nuke, and then refuse to exit because it will bounce after the airdrop announcement. Sometimes it does, often it doesn't. And then there's overconfidence. After a few lucky airdrops or a couple of good trades, you quietly promote yourself from beginner to "I kind of get this." That's when size increases, risk increases, and for many people, the biggest losses of their life follow. Now layer on the structural problem. Most people do not have a real system. Ask the average airdrop farmer a few uncomfortable questions. Are you investing or trading? They shrug. Both. What percentage of your net worth is in crypto? A lot. What's the maximum you're willing to lose on any single idea? Silence. Do you track your transactions, gas spend, profit per ecosystem? I'll start next month. They don't have basic risk parameters. No clear split between long-term holds and experimental plays. No process for deciding which ecosystems to focus on. No journal of what worked and what didn't. Just vibes, noise, and screenshots. Then there's the environment. The modern crypto landscape is like a casino mixed with a theme park built on top of a high-risk tech lab. You're surrounded by KOLs and groups who get paid to shill projects, sometimes without clear disclosure. Content that shows the outcome, P&L, big airdrops, but almost never shows the process and the risk. Short-form videos that compress complex strategies into 30 seconds with a caption like, "Do this before it's too late." A constant stream of fear and greed. Hacks wiping out billions, exchanges failing, regulators stepping in, then new narratives forming. On top of that, we now know from multiple studies and reports that most retail investors who rush into crypto during hype phases end up underwater. They buy late, sell in panic, and repeat. Many kept money on centralized platforms that later froze withdrawals or went bankrupt. So when you combine raw human emotion, lack of personal system, and a market full of leverage, hacks, and fragile platforms, you get a harsh truth. The market doesn't care how hard you try. It only rewards how well you manage risk and how consistently you execute a real strategy. In the context of airdrops, that means this: spamming every chain is not a strategy. Following every loud voice is not a strategy. "I hope this pays off" is not a strategy. Most people treat airdrop farming like a scratch-off lottery ticket. Future whales treat it like building an early-stage portfolio of time, data, and relationships with specific ecosystems. The painful part? If you don't change your behavior, the cycle will repeat. New buzzwords, new L2S, new points, same emotional patterns, same outcome. You provide liquidity, not just to tokens, but to other people's discipline. The good news is, awareness is the first step. Once you see the pattern, you can design something better. Here's the narrative most people love. I lost money because the market is manipulated, because whales dumped, because exchanges are shady. Because devs rugged. All of that exists. The space is full of bad actors, exploits, and failures. We've seen exchanges and lenders collapse, DeFi protocols get drained, and years of savings disappear because of one hack. But there's a different angle almost no one wants to hear. The market didn't force you to ignore risk. The narrative did, and you agreed to it. Most people enter crypto with a silent promise to themselves. I'll get rich fast, and then I'll become disciplined later. Later rarely comes. When they hear airdrop farming, they don't think structured exposure to emerging ecosystems with measured capital and time. They think free money. And when you think free money, you act like it costs nothing. Let's flip a few common beliefs upside down. Belief 1. Crypto is my chance to escape the system quickly. Reality. Crypto is a mirror that shows how you handle risk, greed, and uncertainty much faster than traditional markets. Belief 2. If I just find the right airdrop list, I'm good. Reality. Every serious airdrop farmer knows that execution beats information. The lists are public. The difference is, some people pick a focus, show up week after week, track what they're doing, and don't overexpose their capital. Everyone else bookmarks threads, procrastinates, and then FOMOs into whatever is trending that week. Belief 3. I'm only using small money. It doesn't matter. Reality. Habit scale. The way you treat your small money is exactly how you'll treat your big money, just with more zeros. If you gamble carelessly with $100 for fun, you're rehearsing a behavior that will eventually meet a much bigger balance. Belief 4. The problem is whales, bots, and insiders. Reality. Those exist, but they exist in every market. What matters is, are you building a way to operate sustainably in their presence, or are you trying to beat them at their own game with raw emotion? The uncomfortable truth is this: you can't control hacks. You can't control macro events. You can't control whether a team delays an airdrop or changes criteria. You can control how concentrated you are on risky chains, how much you expose to smart contracts you barely understand, whether you park large sums on centralized platforms with fragile balance sheets, whether your entire strategy is just chasing viral threads. What if, instead of asking, which airdrop will make me rich the fastest, you started asking, how do I design an on-chain routine that I can run for years, through bull and bear, without blowing myself up? That's what future whales actually do. They know they won't catch everything. They're okay missing some insane winners. Because their goal is not to win once and implode. It's to let multiple cycles work in their favor. By the way, that applies outside of crypto too. The same mindset that leads you to over-leverage your account just because you had a few wins is the mindset that can wreck you in any high-risk environment. Startups, real estate, even your own business. The question is no longer, is crypto too dangerous? The real question is, can I grow into the kind of person who can handle this level of volatility without destroying myself? If the answer is yes, or at least I want to try, then we can finally talk about a real framework. Let's build a simple, brutal, honest framework for on-chain airdrop farming in 2025, the kind that future whales actually follow. Think of it as 5 steps. Step 1. Audit yourself before you audit the market. Before asking, what should I farm? Ask, how much of my total net worth is in crypto? Out of that, how much am I willing to risk on experimental airdrops? How much time per week can I realistically spend on this? Write it down. If you can't write it, you don't have a plan, you have vibes. Decide a percent of your total assets that crypto will not exceed. A smaller percent, maybe 10 to 20% of your crypto stack, that is for high-risk/airdrop experiments. The rest should be in more robust assets or strategies you understand. Step 2. Protect capital before chasing rewards. Your capital is your oxygen. If you lose it, the game ends. Set rules like, no single airdrop ecosystem gets more than X% of your experimental stack. No bridging your entire wallet to one new chain just because it's hot. No leverage for airdrop positioning unless you have proven, written rules, and even then, understand you're playing in hard mode. Use separate wallets. One core wallet with your main stack on safe infrastructure. Several smaller farmer wallets with tight limits per ecosystem. If a protocol blows up or an exploit drains a chain, the damage is contained, not catastrophic. Step 3. Choose your verticals, not your FOMO. Airdrops in 2025 are not random rain. They're targeted incentives and specific narratives. L2S, res taking, core DeFi, infra, certain NFT/points projects, and so on. Instead of farming everything, pick 2 to 3 ecosystems you actually believe will matter in the next few years, 1 to 2 narratives that align with that, for example, 1 L2, 1 res taking/security protocol, 1 DeFi core. Then design a weekly routine for each. For the L2, bridge a defined amount, provide liquidity in 1 or 2 core pools you understand, use a few flagship dApps. For DeFi, interact with lending/borrowing carefully, maybe some low-risk LP, track your exposure. For infra/point systems, follow their official docs, not just threads, and focus on quality interactions, not spam. Step 4. Track everything like a small business. Future whales don't rely on memory. They track. Use a simple spreadsheet or a note app to log which wallet, which chain, which protocol, what actions you took, gas spent per ecosystem, any rewards/points/early airdrops received. After a month, you'll notice some ecosystems give decent potential for reasonable effort and gas. Some are just time sinks with terrible risk-reward. That's how you optimize, not by chasing new threads daily, but by cutting what's not working and doubling down on what is. Step 5. Build a review habit once per week or month. Sit down and ask, where did I make emotional decisions? Where did I overspend on gas for no good reason? Did I break my own allocation rules? If yes, why? Which ecosystems feel increasingly fragile or overhyped? Use those answers to adjust. Maybe you reduce exposure to certain risky chains. Maybe you decide to focus more on fewer, higher conviction plays. Maybe you pause all new experiments for a month and just manage what you already have. The goal is not to become perfect. The goal is to become less reckless than last month. Remember, airdrop farming is not about guaranteeing income. There is no guarantee. It's about positioning yourself intelligently in a market where new value is often distributed to early, consistent users, while minimizing the chance that hacks, bankruptcies, and your own impulses wipe you out. If you apply this framework over an entire cycle, you'll look very different from the average degen. Not because you found a secret list, but because you showed up like a builder, not a gambler. Let's zoom out for a moment. Crypto isn't just charts, wallets, and bridges. It's people sitting alone in front of screens, watching numbers that feel uncomfortably tied to their self-worth. Maybe this is you. You made more in one lucky airdrop than a month of your job, and for a brief moment you felt invincible. Then you lost a big chunk of it chasing the next thing, and the silence afterwards was louder than any notification. You didn't tell your family how much you lost. You brushed it off as just playing with profits, even though it hurt. There's the anxiety of logging in and seeing red. The shame of having bragged about wins but quietly hiding losses. The heaviness of knowing every decision was yours and there's no boss to blame. On top of that, you might be juggling real-world bills, family responsibilities, a job that already drains your energy. Crypto becomes this strange parallel universe where you're both hopeful and exhausted at the same time. Here's something most channels don't say out loud. You're not broken because you got emotional about money. You're human. Wanting financial freedom is not bad. Wanting to change your life is not bad. The problem is when we try to skip the parts of ourselves that still need to grow. Crypto has a brutal way of exposing our impatience, wanting results now, our ego, needing to be right instead of safe, our avoidance, refusing to look at the full picture of our finances, our lack of boundaries, staying online at 3 a.m. because there might be one more opportunity. And yet, this is exactly why this space can be a powerful teacher. When you decide to treat on-chain airdrop farming or any form of investing as a mirror, things change. Instead of asking, how much can I make this month? You start asking, what did this loss teach me about myself? Where did I ignore my own rules? How can I be kinder to myself while being stricter with my process? You realize that you're not just building a portfolio. You're building a person who can hold that portfolio without collapsing under stress. Crypto won't fix your life, but it can accelerate your learning about risk, about responsibility, about emotional resilience. And the beautiful part? You don't need a perfect past to have a more intelligent future. If you've blown up accounts, chased hype, or fallen for scams, you're not uniquely stupid. You re part of a long list of people, including professionals, who learn the hard way that volatility is a poor teacher if you don't take notes. What matters is what you do after this video. Will you keep looking for the next shortcut? Or will you use the pain you've already paid for as fuel to change the way you operate? Crypto is not a test of how lucky you are. It's a test of how quickly you can grow into the person you need to be to handle risk, uncertainty, and opportunity. And that growth will spill over into everything else: your work, your relationships, your decisions far beyond this market. So where does this leave us? We're in a market that can send Bitcoin to six figures, then erase tens of thousands of dollars per coin in a brutal downswing. We've seen billions stolen in hacks, exchanges implode, and too big to fail platforms simply fail. Yet, in the middle of all of that chaos, there are still people quietly compounding knowledge, relationships with ecosystems, and capital built through smart positioning rather than blind gambling. The difference is not that they have a secret door. It's that they've accepted something most people avoid. I cannot control the market. I can only control how I show up in it. You don't need to become a genius trader. You don't need to catch every narrative perfectly. You do need to know what you are doing and why. Understand the risks you are taking and be a little more disciplined than you were yesterday. If this video has done its job, you should feel two things at the same time. Less hypnotized by the fantasy that crypto will magically solve everything overnight. More empowered to approach this space with clarity instead of fear. Here's what I'd like you to do next. After this video, before you open another chart or thread, take 5 minutes and write how much of your total assets you're willing to allocate to crypto. What percentage of that is for experimental airdrop farming? Which 2 to 3 ecosystems you want to focus on over the next 6 to 12 months? That's your starting map. If any part of Alex's story sounded like you, the wins, the losses, the hiding, the regret, share a piece of your story in the comments. You don't have to post numbers if you don't want to. Just share what you're taking away or what you want to do differently after today. If this helped you see airdrops and on-chain strategy in a more grounded way, but also opened your eyes to how powerful this game can be when approached with respect, consider supporting the channel. Like this video, subscribe, and if you want to go deeper, click on the channel avatar, head to the channel description, and check the links to the exchanges and tools I actually use. Use them consciously, as infrastructure, not as casinos, with a clear understanding of the risks and the rules in your own country. Finally, this is not the end of the story. In an upcoming video, we're going to dissect one of the biggest blow-ups in recent crypto history, not to relive the drama, but to study how incentives, leverage, and narrative combined into a perfect storm, and how you can spot similar patterns before they hit your portfolio. So if you want to keep building this smarter, more resilient version of yourself, I'll see you in the next one.